if you're really honest with yourself, mistakes are part of the entire process. So you can't get away from mistakes. And if you think you're going to learn from them, you might be mistaken. You learn from them to an extent. But if you look at the history of mankind, and you look at all the thousands of years of history that we've got, and you watch how politicians behave today, what do you think they've learnt? Clearly nothing. So life is a process and business is a process, and yes, as you go along you do make mistakes, and I've always said that I've learned more from my mistakes than I've learned from the things that I've got right. The things you get right you tend to forget about. The mistakes stay with you forever. And you know, when all businesses are small when they start, and I started from absolutely nothing. And when I mean nothing, I mean nothing. I borrowed money, so I was negative, and I had to work my way up from there, and it was just myself, and then there were 2 of us, and then there were 20 of us, and so it grew as the contracts and the work came in. But the mistakes that you make along the way are being anxious about the growth of the business. And I think in the anxiety to grow a business quickly, you will stumble. You've sometimes just got to let things come to you in life and not try and force the outcomes. The outcomes that are forced are generally the painful ones. The ones that pop up out of the blue on a Wednesday afternoon at 4 o'clock are generally the good ones that were unplanned. And you've just got to go with the flow. This is a very important part of it. The more you force things, the more contrived it becomes, the more painful the mistakes that will happen. There's a lot of mistakes that I've made in my business life, notwithstanding what you see today. There's always a lot of times that you stumble along that road as you're moving along. And I think if I look back, the one biggest mistake was to take in partners into the business. I should have stuck with my original vision and grown it myself with a dedicated team around me that shared in the rewards of that. But you know, that's the benefit of hindsight, and that's very personal to me. But if you can, slog it out on your own, slog it out. Try not to be wooed by the bigger companies that come along and try and take a stake, and you think, wow, this big bank's coming now and they want to get involved in my business. This is great, it's going to help me grow exponentially. Not one of the investors that came into our business really helped us grow exponentially in any way. In actual fact, only one made a positive contribution. The rest were just really sleeping partners that did nothing. So often big corporates see small entrepreneurial businesses appearing really sexy and desirable, and when they come in and they get involved, they don't actually know what to do with the business. That entrepreneurialism that runs it and grows it is what makes it work. And the big corporate coming in with all their procedures and policies and all of those things and governance tend to stifle that ability for those businesses to develop. So that was my mistake, taking in partners. But you know, people make many different mistakes. It might be that they've borrowed money at unrealistic levels. It might be that they've relied on particular forms of technology they shouldn't have. There's lots of rabbit holes that you can go down to, but that's the one that sticks in my mind.